Check, check, test. Testing 1, 2. And good evening, everyone. It is time for Bronco baseball on a beautiful Friday night here in El Dorado. Tonight, the El Dorado Broncos host the Newton Rebels. Good evening, Kurt Caden with you here from McDonald Stadium. Great to have so many of you already tuned in and ready for baseball here tonight. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups. And we'll start off with the batting order for the visiting Rebels from Newton. They will start center fielder Terrell Huggins. He'll bat first. Peyton Cormain batting second. Enzo Bonventry will bat third. He's playing right field. Corbin Lill is in left field batting fourth. Drew Healy at first base batting fifth. Kyle Keever is the designated hitter batting sixth. Brad Chronister will bat seventh. Jonathan Stone catching batting eighth. And Ricardo Paris will bat ninth for Newton. As you take a look at the field, see the Broncos warming up. Their defensive alignment looks like this. Jake Melton is in left field, Tanner White in center, and Zach Breeden is in right field. In the infield, Braden Rodden's over at third, Jordan Boyer at shortstop. And then my favorite second base, first base combination, we've got Brant Kim at second and Connor Kinn at first. Kim to Kinn, we may have here tonight. Behind the plate tonight for El Dorado is Cross Bay, and pitching Drew Gooch. That's tonight's starting lineups for you here from El Dorado, as the Broncos have been on the road. And, I guess we can't count last Sunday as a road game because that game in Mulvane was played here. Now El Dorado was the visiting team, but they got to play on this field. And then Monday was an off day. Tuesday, the showcase, one of the showcase games at X Stadium. And El Dorado, thanks in part to a 7-run set. Was it a 7-run seventh, Gary, if I remember right? Hutchinson. The big inning, yeah. It wasn't the second only. It was the seventh inning. El Dorado lost to Hutchinson, but rebounded and went to Hutch on Wednesday and won. And last night, a 6-5 win over these Rebels in Newton. And now these same two teams doing battle here in El Dorado. And Drew Gooch will take a look at the leadoff batter, Terrell Huggins. Terrell Huggins, right-handed batter, 5'10", 165. He's out of Tucson, Arizona. Home plate, all in shadows here as normal at the 7 o'clock start time. And the first pitch from Drew Gooch, a little bit in, and ball one. Our first pitch temperature, 82 degrees here in El Dorado. Feels like 86. The wind's blowing tonight. It's out of the south at 17 miles an hour. So anything hit towards center or left. Gooch high on that fastball, 2-0. Cross Bay has had two go through his mitt. Our humidity at 62%. So not awful by standards here in South Central Kansas. It was relatively cool this morning. Here's the 2-0, and that's outside 3-0 for Gooch. So with 3 balls and no strikes here to Huggins. Would imagine he'll be taking all the way here on a 3-0. And the pitch, and that one's piped right in there. Fastball for a strike, 3 balls and a strike. Looking up above, you might be able to notice kind of a gray clouds, nothing threatening right now. There's a chance for, well, as the weather folks say it, to be safe overnight storms. Here's the 3-1, roped down to Rodden. He takes it on one hop, throws to first high. Kinn caught it, but it took him off the base. And that will be an error on Rodden. That ball sailed from the get-go. Kinn at 6'7" was able to grab it, but he had to elevate to about 7 foot to make that catch. So a leadoff error. Hit right at Rodden there. He picked it clean on one hop. We have a turf infield and a grass outfield here at McDonald Stadium and Bradlong Field. And here is Peyton Cormain. And the first pitch to Cormain, he's laying down a bunt. Gooch will field it, spin, little trouble getting out of the mitt, but a strike to Kinn to retire Cormain on a sacrifice. That will move Huggins up to second base. And here's Enzo Bonventre. And it was nice to see an early comment from Grace Bonventre. I'm guessing Grace, maybe the mother of Enzo here. That's what I'm assuming. So nice to have visiting fans tuning in as well. A first pitch curveball across the letters for strike one. No balls and a strike to Bonventre. Big, strong kid. Looking at his build he's put together, and a swing and a miss on another curve there, and it's 0-2. Bonventre hails from Detroit, Michigan. 6'1", 200. And the 0-2 pitch, and off his fist towards short. Boyer's got it. Quick throw over to Kin, and he couldn't scoop that one out of the turf. That will be an error probably on the throw. So 2 fielding errors for El Dorado here in the first inning. Huggins moves over to third, and Bonventre, over to first. 0-2, go to 0-2 pitch, got it in on the hands of Bonventre, and he was able to muscle a bouncer out to short, and Boyer's throw in the turf. Connor Kin unable to pick it over there. So, Corbin Lill to the plate. Curveball is in there for a strike. Lill, good game last night, according to Gary Carr. Had a couple of hits. He played at, plays or played? Is he done at Cali? From Clearwater, Kansas. He plays at Cali College down in our Kansas City. There's a low pitch, 1 ball and 1 strike. First and third, nobody out, or excuse me, 1 out. We're in the top of the first inning here from beautiful McDonald Stadium. Gooch out of University of Texas at Arlington. And the pitch. It's away, 2-1. We saw Gooch pitch here Saturday in a jam against Mulvane. He was perfect through the first 13 hitters, or for the first 12 hitters. The 13th hitter reached. And El Dorado would eventually win 5-1 over Mulvane last Saturday. Here's one down the middle. Shallow fly ball into right field. Breeden coming in. Kim is going to go out and make the catch. And now we'll fire it home. And Gooch is there backing up. Cross Bay has it. And there's 2 away. So 2 away for the Rebels. And that'll bring up first baseman Drew Healy. Drew Healy, 6'3", 195. He hails from Flagstaff, Arizona. Just love looking at everyone's roster, seeing how so many guys coming from all around this great country of ours here to play summer baseball in Kansas. Gooch has 2 away here in the top of the first. Both runners have reached on throwing errors. And the first pitch, a fastball in there for strike 1. Huggins over at third base. Reached on an error, a throwing error from Rodden. Here comes an 0-1 pitch to Healy. And this one is a check swing strike, and it's 0-2. Boy, you just could tell when, after that second error by Boyer, Gooch really bore down to try to survive any damage here. And he's a strike away from getting out of this rough start to the top of the first. The 0-2, high, 1-2. Huggins reached on an error. Cormain sacrificed Huggins to second. Bonventre reached on a throwing error. And then Lill popped out to second base. A 1-2 pitch here to Healy. On the way, fouled off. Good job of staying in there by Healy. And he'll see another pitch. Here in the press box, it feels like there's no wind, but you look at the flag and it's blowing pretty good. And when I went down field level, it felt pretty gusty down there as well. So we just are up here with no breeze, Gary. Our papers aren't going to fly all over the place. Here's a 1-2 to Healy, and he just reaches out and spoils that one. That's great plate coverage there by Healy. It may not have been a strike, but it was way too close to take, and he does not want to get rung up here. So coaches love seeing, boy, when players can just hang in there, just fight that one off, live to see another pitch, and Healy's doing just that. Drew Gooch with a sign from Cross Bay. The 1-2 on the way. A curveball is swing and a miss. Strike 3. So no runs on no hits. There were 2 errors and 2 men left on base. After a half inning, it's Newton 0, El Dorado coming to bat. Thanks so much for tuning in. Glad to have you with us. This is Bronco Baseball on YouTube. So 0-0-0. Of course, El Dorado hasn't batted yet. Let's take a look at the batting lineup tonight for El Dorado. Jordan Boyer leads off. Braden Rodden batting second. And Jamie Ritchie bats third. Jake Melton, who homered last night, will bat fourth. Connor Kinn batting fifth. And Zach Breeden sixth. Tanner White is up seventh. Cross Bay eighth. And Brant Kim will bat ninth. For the Rebels out in the field, as you see it there, Lil is out in left field, Huggins in center, and Bonventre is in right field. Around the infield, Ricardo Paris is at third, Peyton Cormain at short, Brad Chronister at second, and Drew Healy's at first. Behind the dish is Jonathan Stone, and pitching for the Rebels, Spencer Carlin. So here's Jordan Boyer to lead it off for El Dorado. Boyer made his Bronco debut 6 days ago. And the first pitch on that night was deposited over the left field wall. The first pitch he sees here tonight is over the first base wall and out of play. So no balls and a strike here to Jordan Boyer. And the pitch to Boyer, again, is fouled into the parking lot. Spencer Carlin goes from the stretch. Carlin out of Bixby, Oklahoma, 6'1", 185, and as you can tell, he's a lefty. Certainly invite your comments as you're watching. Many of you watching right now, love to know who you're rooting for, where you're watching from. You can email me, cadenbroadcasting@gmail.com. If you like, always like to see pictures of how you're watching. You got the computer hooked up to your big screen, or maybe sitting by the fire outside, or I don't know, maybe fishing. Here's a ball and 2 strikes to Boyer, and the pitch, that's outside, 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jordan Boyer. And the pitch, and on his hands, he's going to pop this up to shortstop, and Cormain's got it for the first out. He jammed him on that one and just lifted it to short. So that'll bring up Braden Rodden. Braden Rodden, 5'7", 160 out of Otaha, Oklahoma. I'm now Facebook friends with his mother, Melissa Rodden. Always fun meeting those parents. They were up was that last week? Start getting my days mixed up. There's the first pitch to Rodden, and just off the corner for ball 1. No score. We're in the bottom of the first inning here from El Dorado. First of a 3-game homestand here for the Broncos after a week away. Pitch, Rodden shoots it towards the right side. Gloved over there by Healy. He'll underhand it to Carlin, race to the bag, and Carlin beat him. Good hustle by Rodden, but he's retired 3-1, and there's 2 away. And that'll bring up Jamie Ritchie. Jamie Ritchie out of Cisco Community College. 6'4", 185, and he hails from Lindale, Texas. And the first pitch to Ritchie, piped down low. I thought that was in there. It's 1-0. May have gotten just below the knees. Ritchie's a tall kid up there at the plate. Defense playing straight away. And the 1-0 to Ritchie, fouled off. And of course, what helps me outside of just the obvious looking at the defense, there's no shift or anything or anyone moving. The outfield positions, left field, center field, and right field all have pretty much dirt, I think, where players mainly stand. Here's Richie shooting one out to center field, right in the tracks of Huggins, who will make the catch and retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. We'll head to the second inning. El Dorado 0, Newton 0. This is Bronco Baseball on YouTube. So Kyle Keever will lead off for the Rebels here in the top half of the second inning. No score. El Dorado was able to fight off 2 throwing errors in that top of the first inning and escape unscathed. So it's Keever, Chronister, and Stone due up here in the second inning. And the first pitch from Gooch right in there for a strike. Drew Gooch, 1-0 on the season, 13 innings of work, a 1.38 ERA. Here's the pitch. Curveball just missed 1-1. Gooch has given up 8 hits in 13 innings of work, given up 3 runs. Only 2 of those were earned. And the most delightful number coming up. Here comes a 1-ball-and-1-strike pitch, and it's swing and a miss, strike 2. Gary Carr, our dutiful and faithful statistician for 33 years of El Dorado Bronco baseball. And I know Gary lights up when he sees 1 walk and 17 strikeouts. that is music to Gary's ears. Swing and a miss, strike 3, a strikeout of Keever. So back-to-back strikeouts for Drew Gooch. And that'll bring up Brad Chronister. So now 19 strikeouts and 1 walk for Drew Gooch. Gary was telling me last week that Drew, as the first pitch here to Chronister, curveball in there, strike 1. At UT Arlington, started with a 99.00 ERA. And able to drop it down. There's another curve for a strike. He's commanding it again. It's 0-2. He got that 99 ERA down to 3 and change, huh? 3. Took 6 games for him, and he has just continued to stay warm here in El Dorado. There's one off the end of the bat. Rodden ranging over, gloves it. Rodden with the throw to first. Got him. Nice play by Rodden to retire Chronister, and there's 2 away, and that'll bring Jonathan Stone, the catcher. Josh Young has been getting a little more of the spotlight, but Drew Gooch has been pretty darn good too. But it's hard to argue with Young, 14 innings of work and a 0.00 ERA. El Dorado's got 2 real star starters. And I saw Stevenson got the win last night, Gary. There's a guy who started out slow but has been coming on as well. No walks. No walks, 8 strikeouts. That one's up. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Stone. So, I mean, if you can start getting 3 to 4 good, solid starters in this league. 1-1 pitch. Another curve is in there for a strike. 1-2. And another pitcher coming from Oklahoma State. Would that be Sparks? Here comes a 1-2. And the pitch, laced foul. So it stays 1-2. There's 2 away for the Rebels here in this top of the second inning. No score from El Dorado. Oh. Here comes a 1-2. And that's high, 2-2. Polk injured a shoulder. That is Tyler Polk, who, 10 innings had a 0.00 ERA. Here's the 2-2 swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It's Newton 0 and El Dorado 0. So Jake Melton to lead off for El Dorado. Here in the bottom of the second inning. Melton, Kinn, and Breeden for the Broncos. And the first pitch to Melton in there for a strike. Jake Melton, I beg your pardon. Jake Melton now hitting .321. He's the second leading hitter for El Dorado by average. And the 0-1, a little bit low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Melton homered last night, and Gary described to me how important that was, as that gave the Broncos the insurance they needed to come away with a 6-5 win. Here's one shot towards second base. Chronister ranges over, has it over to first, and hustling down there was Melton, but he is retired by Chronister, 1 away. And that'll bring up Connor Kinn.
The first baseman, number 28, Connor Kinn.
Connor Kinn hitting .270 on the season. 37 at-bats for Kinn, and he's got 10 hits. And 1 double out of those 10 hits. And the pitch to Kinn is low. Connor Kinn out of Northwood University. And that one just off the plate, and it's the 2-1, 3-0. 3-0 here to Kinn. Spencer Carlin. Lefty on the hill from the stretch, and the pitch. And that one is across the letters for strike 1. 3 balls and 1 strike. The 3-1 pitch to Kinn is tapped foul. And it's 3-2. So Carlin working his way back. Fell behind 3-0. We have no score. Both teams are hitless to this point. Newton had a little bit of a rally in the top of the first as 2 runners reached by error, but Drew Gooch was able to slam the door shut. Here's the full count pitch, and that bounces in for a walk. For the first base runner of the night for El Dorado is Connor Kinn, and that'll bring up Zach Breeden. Hello to Beth. Beth Breeden is watching from Lakeville, Minnesota, and happy for the stream here tonight. Glad to bring it to you, Beth, and hope everything's well there in Viking country. Love my Vikings. First pitch here to Breeden. Open stance for Breeden, and the pitch, and a swung over the top of that curve, and it's 0-1. Lakeville, Minnesota. That sounds like a nice place, Gary. Lakeville, Minnesota, doesn't it? You could retire there maybe someday. And whenever you become retire eligible. Here's Breeden, hit one out to center field. Drifting over is Huggins. He's under it and makes the catch. Pretty good wood put on it there by Breeden, but Huggins with room out there to make the catch in the second out. So here's Tanner White. I don't know if I don't see the road games. I usually rely on Gary's knowledge, but Tanner White is a guy that seems to play all positions, and he bats all over the order. Sometimes up in the order, sometimes down in the order, sometimes he's in right, sometimes tonight he's in center. Got jammed on that one. Good pitch by Carlin, and a strike to White, 0-1. Cross Bay waits on deck. 2 hits at in the showcase game on Tuesday. Very good, Tanner White. Here's an 0-1, and that one will hit Tanner White. So a hit by pitch.
Number 46, Cross Bay.
I don't know if it feels like, Gary, the Broncos are getting hit by a lot of pitches, at least here. I don't know about on the road, but we saw him get hit in a game 6 times and 5 times in 2 different games. It's a lot of hit by pitches. So without the aid of a hit, Kinn walked. White hit by pitch. Runners at first and second, and here's Cross Bay. Cross Bay heading to Washburn University after his time at Cowley College down in Arkansas City, Kansas. And the pitch to Bay is low and in, 1-0. Bay, 6 foot, 210, out of Enid, Oklahoma. And the pitch to Bay is low, 2-0. Gary, your stats tell me Bay only has 2 at-bats so far. 2 at-bats. 1 walk. Again, the Broncos with 3 or 4 catchers, which is, you know what, for catchers, that they have to have that. Here's the 2-0. That one's piped in there for a strike, 2-1. You figure how long the season is in the spring, and then they come here to play in the summer. It's hot, and I've never known a Bronco team to carry less than 3 catchers. Been down to 1. You don't want to be down to 1 catcher. Bay will call time. So I would imagine all these catchers can stay relatively fresh. We've seen Dawson Woods catch. Rodden has caught for the Broncos. Cole Marlar is listed as a catcher. Here's the pitch to Bay. That's inside, and 3-1 to Cross Bay. Brant Kim waits on deck. Runners at first and second for El Dorado. Connor Kinn down at second, and Tanner White at first. Broncos with the camouflage tops tonight. Black numerals, orange trim. Newton with their black jerseys, white numerals, red sleeves. A 3-1 pitch to Bay, and he watches it low, ball 4. So the Broncos have him loaded for Brant Kim. Kim has been hit 6 times? Oh. Kim, first pitch swinging into the hole. The shortstop goes over to second. What a play. Well done. The throw by Cormain took Chronister off the base just a bit, but Chronister held the bag to get the out, and that will retire the side. There was no runs. There was no hits. There was no errors. There was 2 men left on base. We'll go to the third inning. Newton 0, El Dorado 0. Top of the third inning here from El Dorado. Ricardo Paris, the third baseman, will lead it off for Newton. No score. And Drew Gooch's first pitch is hit high and foul right behind us and out of play. And it hit not many balls hit the top of the press box. That one did. It is hard to do. Ricardo Paris, 5'7", 155, and I'm thinking he's from Barquisimeto, Venezuela. Ball and a strike here to Paris. Good crowd has filed in here to McDonald Stadium. 1 ball and 1 strike, and the pitch hit towards center field, coming in as White, but that will drop. Our first hit for either side here tonight. A clean single up the middle. And that'll turn the order over for Terrell Huggins. Huggins reached on an error, Braden Rodden's throwing error, which was high. Connor Kinn at 6'7" had to leap in the air for it, and by the time he came down, Huggins had already touched first base. And the pitch to Huggins, curveball stayed a little bit up, 1 ball and no strikes. Long look down to the third base coach for Newton. Brett Clark, the head coach for the Newton Rebels. Here's the 1-0. Curveball in there for strike 1. Boy, Drew Gooch will throw that pitch in any count. Runner at first is Paris. And the pitch, and slap towards the right side. Kinn fields it, a race to first. Kinn beats him there. But, boy, a nice piece of hitting, really, by Huggins. They had the hit and run going. And Paris, well, with Paris running, the second baseman, Kim, went to cover. And Huggins very nearly shot it through that hole. Kinn with a good glove work and then able to just beat Huggins to the base. So for the second time in 3 innings, Newton has a runner at second with 1 out. Here's Peyton Cormain. He sacrificed his first time. And the pitch here to Cormain from Gooch, and that one's low, 1-0. I would say for this time of night with some warm temperatures, some welcome cloud cover. Nothing threatening, but really just keeping things nice and very comfortable here at the ballpark. It was 82 degrees at first pitch. Gooch, a long look into Bay. He's got his sign. The 1-0 to Cormain is on the way, and a swing and a miss. That looked like a changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. And it's hard to tell, my old eyes, but it almost looked like Drew had a bit of a smirk on his face there after that pitch. One ball and one strike here to Cormain. Big lead off of second for Paris. And the pitch, and a swing and a miss, strike two. So a ball and two strikes. Newton had runners at first and third in the first inning with one out, but Gooch got Lil to pop out and struck out Healy to get out of that trouble. Here's a ball and two strikes to Cormain. The pitch, and a swing and a miss. It's some high cheese and a strikeout of Cormain, the fourth strikeout of the night for Drew Gooch. So here's Enzo Bonventre, the number 3 batter for the Rebels. And he'll look to get a big 2-out hit for Newton. Here's the first pitch to him, and it's outside. He hit a one hopper to... No, he didn't hit the one hopper. He hit a ball to shortstop, and Warrior's throw was into the turf, and Kin was unable to collect it. And so Bonventre reached on an error back in the first inning. One ball and no strikes. And the pitch from Gooch. Fastball is a bit in. 2-0. Corbin Lill waits on deck. Wind's out of the south, blowing out towards center and left field. Right across the outfield. Here's the 2-0, low, 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Here to Enzo Bonventre. And the pitch from Gooch. And taking all the way was Bonventre, and it's a strike. 3-1. No score, top of inning number 3 here from El Dorado. One nice thing, when the cloud cover is here, you can really read the scoreboard much easier. Here comes the 3-1, and a swing and a miss. Foul tip, 3-2. Anything that helps Gary and I see, we're a fan of. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Paris is down at second base. Takes it, kind of goes towards left field, now inches back in more towards the baseline. Here's the 3-2, a swing and a miss. Bay running it down. He's not going to be able to make a play, though. So it's a strikeout. But it's a pass ball. So credit Gooch with a strikeout. But Newton has runners at first and third. Good to see Adam Stevenson and who have we got? Nick Wyatt down there. They're taking tickets. You might see him on your picture. First pitch fouled by Lil. A couple hits last night in the loss to these Broncos. Paris over at third, Bonventre at first. No balls and a strike to Corbin Lil. And the pitch from Gooch coming up. On the way, fastball high, 1-1. Good to have so many of you watching and listening. Try to keep first base in your picture. It's hard for me to get first and third, though, so apologize that you can't really see the bag over at third. Here's the 1-1, fouled off. Got him down on the handle there, and it's 1-2. I'll tell you what, this Drew Gooch out of UT Arlington, Argyle, Texas. Boy, when there becomes some waves in the water, he really just, this focus, not that it's great always, but boy, he really is locked in here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch. And a swing and a miss, high fastball. So again, Gooch strands a runner at third. No runs on our first hit of the night. 2 left. We'll head to the bottom of the third inning. It's Newton 0, El Dorado 0. And welcome back. Kurt Caden here from El Dorado. Nice to have you, so many of you watching and listening tonight. Feel free to jump in on the chat window if you like to add anything. Jordan Boyer leading it off, and a check swing, kind of a soft line out to the second baseman, Chronister. Chronister caught it and then was looking to, go around the horn with it, and it came out of his glove, which raises the ire of some Bronco fans, but that was an out.
Number 1, Brandon Rodden.
I guess that would be a line out. It wasn't really a pop out, but I'll say line out to humpback liner. HL4 on my scorecard here. Braden Rodden up. And he looks at ball one. The pitcher, Spencer Carlin for Newton, is not allowed a hit yet. 1 ball and no strikes. Fastball bounces in, 2-0. He got out of trouble, though, after got Melton to ground out. Then he walked Kin. Breeden flied out. Hit White. Walked Bay. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And Kim hit into a fielder's choice to end the second inning. So the Broncos had the bases loaded. Newton has had runners at third in 2 of the 3 innings. And we have 1 hit all night. We've had action without having action. 2 balls and no strikes here to Braden Rodden. Right-handed batter is Rodden, and the pitch from Carlin is shot towards the right side. A base hit for El Dorado. Clean single through the right side. I was just about to ask you, Gary. The Broncos have never no-hit anyone, and they've never been no-hit. Last Sunday, a game that turned out to be played here, I wasn't able to do it. The catcher is just hobbled off Stone for a moment. Hopefully he's okay. He's going into the dugout, though. So that'll give me a chance to visit with all of you good folks right now. So last Sunday, the game was here, and Josh Young took a no-hitter into the 9th inning, right? Pinch hit. Base hit. A pinch hit single to ruin the no-hitter. Josh Young has not pitched, Gary. He hasn't pitched since Sunday, right? We'll see Young probably tomorrow, won't we? The Broncos are home tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Tonight here against the Newton Rebels. And then the Hayesville Aviators are in for 2. They're here on Saturday and Sunday. Those of you not terribly familiar maybe with the landscape here, Hayesville is not too far from El Dorado, suburb of Wichita. So not a bad trip for Hayesville. They'll play, and then they'll go back home, come back on Sunday. So did we get a new catcher here? I think we did. Oh, can't see his number, though. Let me So Stone, I don't know what, I did not see if he took a ball maybe off the knee or inside. The padding is good, but it doesn't protect everything of those catchers. Well, it's either, according to my point streaks roster here, Price Anderson or Reed Hodges. Bonventre is also Price, P-U-R. It is Hodges? It's Hodges. Reed Hodges. So Hodges comes in to catch. We hope Stone's okay. And we'll get back to action. Here's Jamie Ritchie. Braden Rodden with the first hit of the night for El Dorado. He stands over at first base. And the first pitch, and Ritchie hits it out into left center field and deep. Tracking back there, the left fielder, and it's up against the wall. Rodden rounds second. He will get to third, and a double for Jamie Ritchie. Giving chase was Lil out there, and boy, he ran a long way. Rodden went to second, but he couldn't really get it turned into full gear because Lil had a chance of making a catch. And then Lil did an excellent job of playing it off the wall, getting it in quickly. So Rodden had to stop at third. The Ritchie parents are here. Well, maybe that's why my viewership's a little bit down, because there's usually about 10 or 12 Ritchies watching. So runners at second and third with one out, and here's Jake Melton. And the pitch, Melton on top of that one, but he hooked it foul. No balls and a strike. The number 4 hitter in the lineup for El Dorado is Jake Melton. Melton hails from Fort Smith, Arkansas. 6'2", 195. 321 hitter coming in. And this one bounces in. Nice stop by Hodges, 1-1. Melton grounded out to second base his first time. So a ball and a strike here to Melton. No score, bottom of the third. And the pitch to Melton, a little bit low, 2-1. 9 for 28 coming in was Melton. 6 runs scored, 4 driven in. The leading RBI guy for El Dorado is Cooper Elliott with 6. 2 balls and a strike, and the pitch to Melton low, 3-1. Call it what you will. El Dorado hasn't had that one guy that has really gone crazy, but they've had a lot of guys contribute. There isn't that one dominant batter so far. Now, it's still early in the year. Here's a 3-1 to Melton, and he hits it towards short, ranging over. Nice stop there by Cormain. He'll throw. No, he won't throw. That'll be an RBI single for Jake Melton. The stop by Cormain prevented another run to score, but El Dorado takes a 1-0 lead, and runners are on the corners for Connor Kinn. So the RBI for Melton is his 5th of the summer. And Braden Rodden scoring for the 5th time this summer. So here's Connor Kinn. He walked his first time. Lefty on lefty. 1-0 Broncos, bottom of the third. And the pitch is bouncing in. Hodges with a good stop, but advancing to second will be Melton on a wild pitch, and that keeps El Dorado out of that double play. And Melton, boy, once he saw that bounce, he was on the go. 1-0 for Connor Kinn, and Kinn bounces it towards first. Healy's got it. It hit off the foot of Kinn in the box, so it's a foul ball, and he tries to get some life back into that front foot. Connor Kinn has driven in 3 this summer. They are the infield playing in, I guess, with Drew Gooch pitching, with a guy with an ERA south of 2. You don't want to give up too much here, so the Rebels have everybody in. It's interesting over at third, though. The third baseman, Paris, playing a little bit further back than the shortstop, Cormain. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kinn. The pitch, Kinn hits it again towards Healy at first, and Healy looks the runner back to third. That was Ritchie. No chance to advance, and Kinn is retired. So a big second out for the Rebels. And here's Zach Breeden. El Dorado in search of a 2-out hit here, leading 1-0, but they've got runners at second and third. Here comes the pitch to Breeden, and that right on the black there. Good pitcher's pitch. No balls and a strike to Breeden. Kelly Watson just arrived to the game after a 12-hour drive from Ohio. Welcome to the field, Kelly. Here's the 0-1 and a check swing. I think he did, and Breeden in an 0-2 hole. Breeden just 7 at-bats, but he has 3 hits for the Broncos. And the 0-2 is outside, 1-2. Hello to Lynn Oliver. I always appreciate hearing from Lynn Oliver. Lynn and Warren watching tonight from Victoria, Texas. They have particular interest in Hudson Oliver and, of course, the rest of the Broncos. And thanks for tuning in, Lynn and Warren. Here's the 1-2. And nice job by Breeden to hang in there and just flip that one out of play and see another pitch. We have some youth baseball out in beyond right field. So a few more cars out there in the parking lot behind the Newton Rebels dugout. A ball and a 2 strikes. Spencer Carlin on the hill and the pitch. And a swing and a miss by Breeden. Nice job by Carlin to get out of some big trouble, but the Broncos do push one across. They score 1 run on 3 hits, and they left 2. There were no errors in the inning. We've played 3 complete here from El Dorado. The Broncos 1 and the Rebels 0. Top of the 4th inning, Drew Healy will lead it off for Newton against Drew Gooch, who has thrown 50 pitches through the first 3 innings. And a swing and a miss, strike 1. Healy struck out his first time. He's 0 for 1. Mulvane leading Salina 1-0. Salina just had a 5-pitch inning. Here's the 0-1 and a swing and a miss, strike 2. He's got him off balance again. When Drew is really going, boy, you just see batters almost flailing at pitches. So an 0-2 for Gooch, who struck out 3 in the 3rd inning. But Bonventre reached after striking out as the ball got away from Cross Bay. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and the pitch hit towards second base. Kim has it, and he'll throw over to Kin for the out. Kim to Kin. There, I think I'll chuckle every time we have that, Gary. Kim to Kin. The KK Club. The 3-letter KK Club. I mean, how many times have you had a second baseman and a first baseman with such similar names? Swing and a miss, strike 1 to Kyle Keever, the designated hitter. Here's the 0-1. Curveball drops in a beauty. Starts up around the shoulders, ends up right across the waist, thigh area. No balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch, high, 1-2. Talked about how much Gary and I love the 1 walk and 20 now plus strikeouts. Also, Gooch works quickly. He gets on the mound and he's ready to go. Here comes the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. Bay bobbled it. He'll tag Keever to make sure, and that's the second out of the inning. 1, 2, 5, 6 strikeouts for Gooch. That gives him a 1 walk, 25 strikeout tab so far this summer. And that'll bring up Brad Cronister. He grounded out to third his first time. And the pitch from Gooch, high and in, 1-0. 1-0 El Dorado, top of the fourth inning. The Broncos leading the Eastern Division with a 6-3 record in conference play. Here's the 1-0 and slapped out of play the other way, 1-1. Hayesville is 6-4. Derby is 5-4. Mulvane 4-5, and these Rebels are 3-7. Visiting with their play-by-play guy that provides Newton broadcasts. Here comes a 1-ball, 1-strike pitch, and a swing and a miss on a challenge fastball, 1-2. 6 of the 7 losses by 1 run. There's been I'll tell you what, any night you will look at the scores on the Sunflower Collegiate League homepage, and every game is close. Pitch and just missed. 2-2. The Cheney Diamond Dogs are 9-0, but boy, they just win close game after close game, and usually high scoring. 2-2, just off the corner again, 3-2. A lot of 10-9, 9-8 games for Cheney too. They're not winning 1-0. Full count here to Cronister. And the pitch, and just off the end of the bat, foul. Cheney's 9-0. Hutchinson and Great Bend in the Western Division are 5-4. The East is pretty bunched up. I mean, Newton's in last, but they're 3.5 games out of first. Here comes the 3-2. Fastball and a swing and a miss, strike 3. 5 out of the last 6 have been struck out by Drew Gooch. 3 up and 3 down in the fourth. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. El Dorado 1, Newton 0. So why don't we enter the bottom of the fourth inning? Broncos lead 1-0. Bottom third of the order for El Dorado. Tanner White, Cross Bay, and Brant Kim will take another crack at Spencer Carlin. Tanner White took a curveball on the hip pocket, his first at bat. And a foul on his first pitch from Carlin. No balls and a strike. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Hayesville here against El Dorado. Same time, same team, Sunday night. And that's a nice curve in there for strike 2. Nice pitch by Carlin. No, and it's 0-2. Tanner White from right here in El Dorado. Lefty on lefty, and White hangs in on that curveball and fouls it off. Broncos, after the game Sunday, get Monday and Tuesday off. That'll be nice to rest some arms. And Wednesday, a trip to Cheney. No balls, 2 strikes. That one's outside, 1-2. Next Wednesday at Cheney. That'll be a tough one. Then Thursday at Derby. And a week from tonight, the Derby Twins are here. couple more road games, then a nice stretch of home games. Between June 26th and July 7th, El Dorado's here 7 times. Here's the 1-2. And White shoots it into left field. Going back is Lil. It'll get up against the wall. White rounds first, looking at second, takes a peek at third, but he'll stop with a stand-up double. Tanner White going the other way for a double to lead off the 4th inning. So here comes Cross Bay. Cross Bay walked his first time. Broncos, after no hits in the first 2 innings, have had 4 hits. 3 in the third, and now a leadoff double to open up this 4th inning. And the pitch to Bay bounces in. Hodges blocks it, but White will get to third on a wild pitch. Tell you what, Hodges did everything he could to try to keep that in front of him, but that was very tricky. Yeah, 55-foot pitch there by Carlin. So 1 and a runner at third for El Dorado. Newton's defense will stay back. They'll concede a run here for an out. The pitch to Bay. Bay hits it hard but foul. Doug Bell has constructed a pretty deep team. A lot of good players, night in and night out, able to take the field for El Dorado. Jordan Griffin, a real talented kid. He's not playing tonight. But everyone needs some rest after a long season at their colleges. Here's a 1-1 low, 2-1. So it's nice to have bodies to run out there. 2 balls and a strike here to Cross Bay. And a high fastball, 3-1. Newton starting to warm up their bullpen. Cooper Elliott's first game off, Gary tells me. Looks like Zach Gillig is warming up down in the bullpen. Bay hits this one out into shallow left field. Coming in is Lil. He can't make the catch. He'll fire it home, but sliding in safely is White. An RBI single for Cross Bay. First hit for the Bronco, as a Bronco for Bay, and it's an RBI single. White had to hold up. Lil has really been covering some ground out in left field. Had to make sure that was going to drop, and that added to a little drama there at the plate. 2-0 El Dorado, and here's Brant Kim. And the pitch to Kim got through Hodges. It'll roll to the backstop. That's probably a pass ball. And Bay will move on to second base. So, again, staying out of maybe double play possibilities here. Boy, the third baseman, Paris, playing back. If Kim had a notion, if he dropped one towards third, you could advance a runner and maybe get a hit out of it. And the 1-0 to Kim, that's outside, 2-0. Of course, with Carlin running into some difficulties here, El Dorado may not want to give up an out for an advance. Kim hit into a fielder's choice to end the second inning. 2-0 pitch from Carlin. Got past Hodges. That'll get to the backstop, and all the way to third will be Cross Bay. Pass ball again there on Hodges, who had to come in for Stone, who was injured. So 3 balls, no strikes, nobody out, 1 run in, 2-0 El Dorado here in the 4th. And taking all the way for a strike, 3-1. Jordan Boyer waits on deck. Carlin working quickly. The 3-1 hit down the left field line and just hooking foul. Kim probably would have had 2. And Carlin has worked it back from 3-0 to full here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Carlin ready to deal. The 3-2 is popped up, behind second base. Chronister going back and couldn't make the catch. Cross Bay will come in. That'll be a hit. An RBI single for Brant Kim. I felt like Chronister might have been waiting for an outfielder to maybe take control there, and Chronister got twisted around. An RBI single will score Bay, and El Dorado leads 3-0. And Newton will take some time to go talk to Spencer Carlin. 3-0 Broncos. Gillig looks like he's ready. And Newton is going to stay with Carlin. So Jordan Boyer. The first three have reached for El Dorado. Tanner White doubled, advanced to third on a wild pitch. Bay singled him in. Then Bay advanced to third on a couple of pass balls. And Brant Kim singled in Bay. So 3-0 El Dorado. Boyer is 0 for 2. And Boyer off balance there and a swing and a miss, strike one. Boyer, I think, was expecting a fastball there, a first pitch fastball, and he didn't get it. Soft line drive out in the third inning for Boyer. Really hasn't been able to put together a good swing yet. Here's the 0-1 outside, 1-1. One ball and one strike here to Boyer. Braden Rodden waits on deck. And the pitch is off the foot of Boyer and fouled off, 1-2. Wind starting to gust a little more out of the south there. The Newton Rebels don't play tomorrow. They will be in Salina on Sunday. Check that. They will be home Sunday. Salina goes to Newton. One ball and two strikes here to Boyer. And nice stop there by Hodges, 2-2. Rebels and Broncos here tonight. Salina at Newton Sunday, and then Newton will go to Great Bend on Tuesday. So they got an off day on Saturday and on Monday. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Boyer. And that curveball outside, well outside. 3-2 now to Jordan Boyer. Two in already for El Dorado, leading 3-0. And Boyer got a good cut there and fouled it out of play. Derby winning in Hayesville 1-0 in the 6th inning. That game moving right along. Another 3-2 pitch here to Boyer. Wind gusting. And Boyer hit it high, a mile high on the infield. And Paris, the third baseman, will make the catch. That was a tricky wind. He came in and then had to back up, but he makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So here's Braden Rodden. Rodden 1 for 2, singled and scored in the 3rd inning. Brant Kim remains over at first base with 1 away. Bottom of the 4th inning here from Brad Long Field in El Dorado. And that pitch in there for a strike. Braden Rodden coming into play, 237, 9 for 38. 2 doubles of those 9 hits. He's driven in 5. He's also walked 6 times, which is 2nd on the team. only behind Cooper Elliott, who has walked 7 times. Slightly open stance for Rodden at the dish. And the 0-1. And that one's in there for strike 2. Well, rough start to the inning for Carlin, but he got Boyer to pop out, and he's 0-2 here on Rodden. Kim over at first base has not attempted a stolen base yet. And the 0-2, Kim is on the move, and he will get a stolen base. First steal of the season for Brant Kim, right on cue, Gary. The Hutch Monarchs are up 8-1 on Cheney right now in the 4th inning. A little bit of a surprise. Ball and 2 strikes here to Rodden. Runner in scoring position for the Broncos. And low, 2-2. Gary, were you impressed with the Monarchs, what you saw? A good team? Nice. Monarchs are 6-4 overall in the season, 5-4 in league play. El Dorado split with Hutch this week, losing Tuesday in Wichita and winning Wednesday at Hutchinson. A game that was actually played in Buhler, Kansas. 2-2, and Rodden bounces it towards Healy at first. He'll glove it on the big hop and touch the bag. Moving over to third is Kim, but now 2 away for El Dorado. And that'll bring up Jamie Ritchie. Jamie Ritchie with a 1 hop off the wall for a double in the 3rd inning. He is 1 for 2. Flew out to center field his first time, hit it on a rope, but right at the center fielder Huggins. Surprised the lights aren't on yet here at the stadium. They're on in the youth field. First pitch to Ritchie, low and away, 1-0. One ball, no strikes here to Jamie Ritchie. And Ritchie had a good cut, but he fouled it off. We'll check the emails here in a minute. If you'd like to jump on the email train, my email address, Caden Broadcasting, that's C-A-D-E-N, Caden Broadcasting at gmail.com. Yeah, the light's coming on. Again on cue. Jamie Ritchie shoots it down the right field line, but foul. Tony Ritchie says she's sitting at Jamie's 13-year-old cousin's Drake's baseball game watching on their phone. Fantastic. Thanks for the email, Tony. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jamie, who hit it towards third. Paris gloves it cleanly. The long throw over to first is close and safe as Ritchie. Base hit for Ritchie, an RBI single for Jamie Ritchie. And Coach Clark wants to talk to the umpire, I believe. He's not coming out to talk to Carlin. That was a close play. It skipped to the first baseman, Healy. It was a bang-bang play over at first. And the Broncos lead 4-0. RBI single for Ritchie. And Gary, boy, any manager loves bottom of the order production. The first 3, 7, 8, 9 of the order all got on. They all scored here in the 4th inning. And Carlin, his night will be done right there. 4-0 El Dorado. We'll be back with more. This is Bronco Baseball on YouTube. So the new pitcher for the Newton Rebels is Zach Gillig. 4-0 El Dorado. Jamie Ritchie over at first, and here's Jake Melton. He's 1 for 2. And first pitch swinging, pops it up. Hodges drifting back and will make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out for Gillig, and that will retire the side. But a productive inning for El Dorado. They score 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors and 1 left. We head to the 5th inning. El Dorado 4, Newton 0. So we enter the top of the 5th inning. 4-0 El Dorado, and here is Reese Hodges. And he'll look at a first pitch strike. Stone started as catcher. Hodges came in when Stone was injured. The 0-1 curveball just missed. 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. And a curveball misses again. 2-1. Hodges hails from Round Rock, Texas. 5'8", 185. And the pitch just missing. 3-1. 8-9-1 in the order for the Rebels here in the 5th inning. 3 balls, 1 strike. And Hodges hits this one out into center field. Tanner White coming in, and he'll make the catch. First out of the inning, and that'll bring up Ricardo Paris. Paris has the only hit for Newton so far. That was a clean 3rd inning leadoff single. Overcast here in El Dorado, wind blowing and warm. Paris looking to bunt for a hit, but he'll foul it off. Send a shout out to a couple of parents tuned in here tonight. Debbie Kinn is watching from Michigan. They're looking forward to Parents Week. Here's the 0-1. Hit out into right field. And Breeden coming in, and Breeden will make the catch. 2 up, 2 down, and top of the order, Terrell Huggins. Always fun when the parents come in after so many times emailing or chatting here on our broadcast to put a face to the name. Melissa Rodden watching tonight says, "Go Broncos." First pitch, a strike to Huggins. We mentioned how fun it is when Kim and Kin make plays out in the field, Gary. It's also fun when the Kims and the Kins comment on here as well. That one bounces in 1-1. Phil Kim, the Kim clan watching in Libertyville, Illinois. And they look forward to meeting the Kins at Parent Week. Yeah. Kim and Kin. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Huggins. The pitch. That's high, 2-1. Parents Week, always fun. Always fun to get to say hi to the parents. 2-1 pitch, hit towards second base. And Kim has it. He'll throw it over to Kin. There's that combination. Kim to Kin to retire the side. 3 up and 3 down. And 7 in a row have been retired by Gooch. We're halfway through from El Dorado. Broncos 4, Newton 0. Well, on cue, Debbie Kin's son, Connor, leading off the bottom of the 5th inning for El Dorado against Gillig, who threw 1 pitch and got Melton to pop out to finish off the 4th inning. And Kin hits it hard out into right field, and that's over the right fielder's head. Bonventre. Kin hit it so hard, he's only going to get a single out of it. Bad luck there for Kin. It's a leadoff single for El Dorado. Nicely played out there by Bonventre. Closed the book on Spencer Carlin. He goes 3 2/3 for Newton. Gave up 7 hits, 4 runs all earned, 2 walks and 1 strikeout, and he hit 1 batter. So here's Zach Breeden. Breeden 0 for 2 tonight. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. And quick throw over to first, and Kin is back. Kin gets his lead off of first, and the 0-1, a swing and a miss, 0-2. Kin is 0 for 2 on stolen base attempts this summer. Gillig ahead 0-2 of Breeden on the look over to first, and Kin is back. Breeden takes a look, 1-2. So a ball and 2 strike. And the pitch to Breeden inside, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Kin with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 5th. El Dorado leading 4-0. And the pitch is bouncing in. Nice stop by Hodges, and it's 3-2. Hello to Kyle Blackburn down in Enid, Oklahoma. Late tuning in. We won't penalize you for that. Good to have you tuned in, Kyle. Brother, my good friend Sarah Kilgore. 3-2. Kin will dive back in. El Dorado with 1 run on 3 hits in the 3rd inning, 3 runs on 4 hits in the 4th inning. And the pitch, and Breeden a late swing, and he strikes out. Good location by Gillig there. So Tanner White comes to the dish. White hitting just 192, but he doubled his last at bat and scored a leadoff double to get that 3-run 4th inning going. 5 hits and 26 at bats for White. Now 6 hits, and he has 3 doubles out of those 6 hits. First pitch to White is bending in there for a strike. Gillig out of Valley Center, Kansas. Just a little bit north of Wichita. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nice to have Newton's play-by-play guy, Frank Martinez, good friend of mine. Scares me him getting into the play-by-play field. He's an outstanding public address guy. Does NBC World Series. There's a strike. Does numerous high schools. I broadcast high school sports, so run into Frank from time to time. One of the good people in this world, that's for sure. 1-2, no, I'll throw over to first. Cross Bay waits on deck. Tanner White up there with a 1 ball, 2 strike count. And the pitch is bounced towards second base. Kinn ducks under it. It gets past just off the glove of Chronister. That's going to be an error on Chronister. Nice job by that 6'7" frame of Connor Kinn to be in the way of that ground ball. And by the time Chronister could see it, it just glanced off his glove. So Kinn at second and Tanner White at first. Tanner White's been on all 3 times tonight. So here's Cross Bay, who got his first hit as an El Dorado Bronco his last time. Was it Bay's hit that was behind second base that Chronister went back? Was that the hit? That was the hit. 1 away for the Broncos here in the home half of the 5th inning. And Bay will take a look at strike 1. Hearing some fans yell, that was too low. Gary Carr has decided not to holler at umpires anymore. We discussed that before going on air tonight. Just doesn't work from up here. No balls and 2 strikes. Of course, the umpire job is hard. It's always easy to go to a game and criticize, but for the most part, I'll tell you what, they're doing a good job. And if we didn't have them, we wouldn't have baseball. So sometimes it's okay to tell them good job. And as I've learned umpiring, half the people think you did a great job and half the people think you stink. You're not going to please them all. No balls and 2 strikes to Bay, and that one's low, 1-2. Bay singled, then advanced to second on a pass ball, advanced to third on a pass ball, and then scored on Brant Kim's infield single. Hit into a fielder, check that, walked his first at bat in the 2nd inning. So officially 1 for 1. Here's the 1-2, and that one is a wild pitch. No chance for Hodges there, and the runners will move up 90 feet. So the Broncos have really been gifted some free bases here tonight with pass balls and wild pitches, and now a single by Bay could make it 6-0. El Dorado held on for a 6-5 win over these Newton Rebels last night up in Newton. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bay. Infield comes in, and Bay hits it towards third, but foul. No one loving probably the new travel plan for El Dorado more than Gary Carr, who goes to every game. But I'm sure after a game in Newton, he was home at a decent time last night. It's not like going to Great Bend he went to Great Bend. Not like going to Hayes or Dodge City. 10:30. League is very travel friendly. Great Bend's probably the furthest trip for anyone, except for Salina. I mean, except for Salina making that trip. I mean, Cheney to Great Bend's a long ways. And what is it, El Dorado to Great Bend? How long of a trip is that? A couple hours?
It's about 2 hours.
Here's a 2-2 to Bay, low 3-2. Most of the trips, though, now are probably within an hour, really. So after 32 years in the Jayhawk League, El Dorado moving here to the Sunflower Collegiate League. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Bay. Zach Gillig with his sign and the pitch. And that one, boy, a good pitch, but just must have been a little bit in. Cross Bay with a good eye, and he'll walk down to first. So Brant Kim comes up with the bases loaded.
The second baseman, number 10, Brant Kim.
Over at third is Kin, White at second, Bay at first. And Brant Kim, RBI single and scored in that 4th inning. Here's the pitch, and he fouled it off, strike 1. Kim with a RBI single, stole second, and scored on Jamie Ritchie's RBI single. Middle infield plays a double play depth. Corners are in for Newton. And the 0-1 is in there for strike 2. Good inside fastball there by Gillig. Long look in for Gillig. He's at 0-2, and this one hit out into right field towards the Newton bullpen and will fall harmlessly. So we'll do 0-2 again. Brant Kim, Libertyville, Illinois. And the 0-2 is shot onto right center field. That's a base hit. Kin will score. Coming around is White to score, and it's an RBI double, 2 RBI double for Brant Kim. Solid stroke out to right center field. He went with that pitch. 2 RBIs there, 3 on the night for Brant Kim. Bay moves over to third. And Connor Kin came in to score. And the bottom of the order is really doing work for El Dorado tonight. 6-0 Broncos, and here's Jordan Boyer. And a first pitch looked like a curve in there for a strike, 0-1. Boy, Kim down in the count, 0-2. Outside fastball, just shot it out into right center field. Well done. The 0-1 and a swing and a miss by Boyer, 0-2. So Gillig ahead, sprints out in front, 0-2. And Boyer able to foul that one off. No balls and 2 strikes. Baseball taking center stage now. NBA Finals wrapped up last night with Toronto winning. NHL Stanley Cup was decided on Wednesday night. Now you got summer baseball, major leagues, minor league, College World Series starting tomorrow. Good time of the year if you love baseball. Here's the 0-2 to Boyer, and he's able to hang in there and foul it off. Broncos a half game in front in first place in the Sunflower Collegiate League's. Did I say that Eastern Division, right? Yeah. Half game ahead of Hayesville coming into play. Hayesville's here tomorrow night and Sunday night. Here's the 0-2 to Boyer. And he's able to hit it towards short. Cormain's got it. He's coming home. And the play at the plate out. Great job by Hodges. That play was towards the first base side of home. He had to reach over there, come back, and tag out a sliding cross bay. So that's the second out of the inning. Staying at second was Kim, and moving down to first now is Boyer on a fielder's choice. Braden Rodden, switch hitter, will bat from the left side now. His first look at Zach Gillig. And that pitch to Rodden outside. Rodden ahead 1-0, and the pitch. Low 2-0. Lori Collins emailed me earlier, or messaged me earlier. Brian and Lori Collins are watching and listening to the Broncos while at the Round Rock Express game. Round Rock Express against Arizona Reno AAA game. And Jose Altuve is there playing. Double steal by El Dorado, and both runners safe. The throw went down to second, and Boyer just slid in safely. Kim down to third. Normally, you see that throw go to third base, especially with a left-handed hitter up. But I think Hodges saw that Kim had a pretty good jump off of second, so he took a chance at second base to try to get Boyer. 3-0 to Rodden, and he'll look at strike one. 3 balls and a strike. Rodden 1 for 3 tonight, grounded out to first twice, and singled and scored. Here's the 3-1, and just missing. Rodden will walk. And that'll bring up Jamie Ritchie. Jamie Ritchie has hit the ball hard.
The designated hitter, number 9, Jamie Ritchie.
3 times tonight. Flew out to center on a line drive, doubled off the wall, and singled. 2 for 3 with a run batted in. He's got the bases loaded here with 2 outs. And Ritchie looks at ball 1. His folks are in the crowd tonight. That can always help these guys, I think. Ritchie out of Lindale, Texas. 1 ball and no strikes. And Ritchie didn't like that one, 1-1. El Dorado here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the 1-1. And Ritchie got under this one into foul territory. Healy's got it. Now it drifts back into fair territory, and Healy makes a catch. And that will end the inning. 8 batters come to the dish for El Dorado. They scored 2 times, and they did it on 2 hits. There was an error, and 3 men left on base. We will head to the 6th inning. El Dorado 6, Newton 0. Peyton Cormain will lead it off for the Newton Rebels here in the top of the 6th inning. Drew Gooch has been in command all night, giving up just one single through 5 innings. First pitch to Cormain is high. Cormain sacrificed bunt in the 1st inning and struck out in the 3rd. Here's the 1-0 pitch, outside, 2-0. The pitch to Cormain is low. 3 balls and no strikes to Cormain. The 3-0, and that's inside. First walk issued tonight by Drew Gooch, and just the 2nd this season. Some light activity right now in the El Dorado bullpen. Here's Enzo Bonventre. Mulvane leading Salina 6-1 in the 5th inning. And high, 1-0. And El Dorado is going to go visit with Drew Gooch here. Six to 0 El Dorado. We were 0-0 after 2.5. Broncos scored 1 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, and 2 in the 5th to claim this 6-0 lead. Broncos home tomorrow night against Hayesville and also on Sunday. 2 big games with the Aviators. That'll be the only 2 times Hayesville is here. The Broncos will go to Hayesville late in the season, July 13th and 14th. Did a warm-up batter just lose his bat and it landed in the crowd? There was a big sound. Everyone took a look. I wasn't sure if I missed something. The warm-up hitter took a swing and he lost the bat. Fortunately, it didn't hit anyone. It just hit bleacher. 2-0 now to Bonventre. 4 in a row out of the zone, or 6 in a row by Gooch. And this one's hit right over the shoulder of Gooch into center field. And White bobbles it in center. Now throws to 3rd. He's only going to get 1 error, but that should have been 2. That throw should have gone to 2nd. So a single and an error for Bonventre. So runners at 2nd and 3rd for Newton with nobody out, and here's Corbin Lill. One of those plays, Gary, where you make 1 error, you don't want to make a second one. You made a physical error and then a mental error. No chance to get Cormain, who, once he saw it bobbled, he was on his way to 3rd. But then the throw to 3rd allowed Bonventre to get to 2nd. Here's a ground ball to short. Boyer's got it. He'll go over to 3rd, and it's through the 3rd baseman Rodden's legs. And all the way to 2nd base will be Lill. 1 run scores, and it's 6-1. Error 6, probably, yeah. So fielder's choice for Lill. An RBI, probably? That would be an RBI. And then an error 6. Boyer's thought process not terrible, but up 6-0, you probably just want to get that out. But he had a chance to cut down the runner at third, but it was a tough throw and tough play. So here's Drew Healy with runners at second and third. 2 errors in the first inning didn't come back to hurt El Dorado. 2 errors here in the sixth inning, half. The 1-0 in there for a strike, 1-1. Gooch wasting no time, getting up there. You can just see that focus just intensify here in this tough situation. Nobody out for the Rebels. And the 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-2. We'll see the Newton Rebels the next time here will be July 11th. And then El Dorado will go to Newton on Friday, July 12th. And the pitch bounced towards third, and Rodden picked it up, now throws it. That'll be an infield single. Rodden's probably only chance there was to see if it would go foul, but he barehanded it and then made a throw. Fortunately, it was on the mark to Kin. So an infield single for Healy. Bases loaded, nobody out here for Newton. Walk, single and an error. Fielder's choice and an error, and an infield single. Keever is struck out twice, and it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter. Price Anderson will pinch hit for Keever. Pryce. So the umpire adjusting his scorecard as Gary and I do the same. Some trouble brewing in the water here for El Dorado. 6-1 Broncos here in the sixth, but bases loaded, nobody out. And here's Price Anderson. From the windup is Gooch, and the pitch. Bounces it in. Nice stop by Bay. And 1-0 here to Anderson. Chronister waits on deck. Price Anderson from Wichita, 6'2", 180. The pitch popped up into shallow right, drifting into foul territory. No, it's in fair territory, and it drops in. The play will come to second base. Boyer will record the out, so 1 run scores. The wind pushed that from foul territory back into fair territory. So scoring is Bonventre. The second baseman, Kim, threw it to Boyer, so it's a 4-6 putout for the first out. And what, a fielder's choice, do you call that for? Even though they recorded an out? Here's the pitch, and tapped towards Gooch. Gooch takes a look at the runner at third, now fires a strike down to first, and Chronister is retired. 2 outs. Anderson moves up to second base. That's a fielder's choice, yeah. And an RBI for Anderson. So 6-2, but now 2 away, and here's Hodges. Hodges flew out to center field his first time. He's 0 for 1. Fastball in there, strike 1. I'll tell you what, if El Dorado can get out of this with only 2 runs given up, bases loaded, nobody out, that would be pretty good. No balls and a strike here to Hodges. Fastball hit towards Kim at second, just out of his reach. A base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes a throw home, and it's an RBI single for Reese Hodges, and that'll make it 6-3. Boy, Kim was just about there. He reached out for it and just couldn't haul it in. Coming in to score was Lil. Anderson moves over to third, and here is Paris, the 8th batter of the inning. 6-3 El Dorado. It can never be easy, Gary. And the first pitch here is hit out into left center field. A nice stroke there by Paris. One run is in. Rounding third is Hodges. He will come in, and it'll be a 2 RBI double for Ricardo Paris. And it's 6-5. Scoring all the way from first was Hodges. And here comes Huggins. Two away, top of the sixth inning. The big innings have been the bugaboo for this Bronco team. Talked about giving up a 7-run inning against Hutchinson on Tuesday. Here's a 5-run sixth inning for Newton. Still in the lead are the Broncos, and Huggins takes a look at a high curveball for strike one. No balls and a strike. Huggins 0 for 3 tonight. And looks at ball one. Reached on an error in the first inning. Grounded out to first in the third, and then grounded out to second in the fifth inning. All the trouble started with a leadoff walk to Peyton Cormain, who waits on deck. The 1-1 pitch and a swing and a miss on the curve. Strike two. Gooch trying to battle through here in the sixth inning. Young man from Argyle, Texas. Met his parents last Saturday. Good folks. Here's the 1-2. Long look at second base. And time is called by Huggins. Gooch was staring down Paris at second, but neither Kim nor Boyer were really making a move to get him closer. Here comes a 1-2 and a swing and a foul tip. Caught a little bit of the umpire too. Cross Bay was going to go walk and talk to Gooch, try to give the umpire a little bit of time to recover from that. Tying run at second in Ricardo Paris. And the 1-2 hit toward center field, a base hit. Paris rounds third. He is going to score. And the throw will be cut off, and Newton has tied it at 6. And that will be the end of the night for Drew Gooch. Trouble here in the sixth inning. A walk, a couple of errors. And boy, the last three hitters, Hodges, Paris, and Huggins, have hit Gooch as hard as anyone did all night. So we've got a 6-6 game, a new pitcher coming in. This is Bronco Baseball on YouTube. So Peyton Cormain, who started all this mess up for the Broncos, he led off this inning with a walk, and he scored. And he's in there to face Preston Minor. And the first pitch from Minor in there for strike one. Gooch goes 5 2/3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 5 of those hits in this inning. 1 walk, that also in this inning. He had 8 strikeouts. No balls and a strike here to Cormain. And fouled it off 0-2. Preston Minor out of Frisco, Texas. 6'2", 185, goes to Wichita State University. 1-0 record for Minor, 10 innings of work, 6.30 ERA. He's given up 15 hits in 10 innings, 8 runs, 7 earned, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Teams are hitting .349 against him. An 0-2 pitch from Minor. Just a little bit outside, off the glove of Bay, and that'll be a pass ball. So the go-ahead run moves down to second base. Who? Britt Brown pitching, not Minor. 48, huh? So Britt Brown, the pitcher, beg your pardon, not Minor. And fastball outside, 2-2. Thank you. I missed you. That wasn't bad. Josh Young, yeah, I watched it. Josh Young just reported to us that it's Britt Brown pitching, and he was 3-2 here to Cormain. Britt Brown is from Northern Oklahoma College. Drew Gooch was cruising along until this inning. And ball 4 to Cormain. His second walk of the inning. And that'll bring up Enzo Bonventre. Brown's got his sign from Bay. And the first pitch is hit towards second base, takes a funny bounce. Kim's got it. Over to Kin, and that will retire the side. But 11 batters come to bat for Newton in the 6th inning. The Rebels score 6 runs, and they did it on 5 hits. There was 2 errors and 2 men left on base. Work to do for El Dorado. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, tied at 6. So, bottom of the sixth inning.
The left fielder, number 12, Jake.
New pitcher for Newton is Matt Contreras. And he will deal with Jake Melton, Connor Kinn, and Zach Breeden here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Contreras, also a pitcher who goes from the stretch like their starter, Spencer Carlin. Carlin's off the hook now as the game is tied at 6. Gooch, as good as he was, cannot win it either. Brown and Contreras are now the pitchers of record here. And Melton pops this one up, shallow center field, and caught out there by Cormain for the first out. So one away, and that'll bring up Connor Kinn.
The first baseman, number 28, Connor Kinn.
Kinn is 1 for 2, a single and a run scored in the 5th inning. Walked in the 2nd, grounded out to first in the 3rd. 1 for 2 officially. Kinn from Wixom, Michigan, and Hodges and Contreras will get together.
Ticket 081361. If that is your ticket, please take that up to the press box to claim your things.
Going over signs out there. Out on the hill. 6-6 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So now we're ready. And Contreras to Kinn inside. One ball, no strikes here to Connor Kinn. Connor had bad luck in the 5th. He hit it so hard into right field. It went off the wall. Well played out there by Bonventre, and he got a long single. But eventually came around and scored. A couple of guys playing some long toss down in the Newton bullpen. 2 balls and no strikes here to Kinn. 1 away, bottom of the 6th inning. And low, 3-0. Contreras hails from Fremont, California. 6 foot, 195. 3-0 here to Kinn. And missing, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk. And that'll bring up Zach Breeden. Oh, Jordan Griffin going to hit here for Breeden.
Number 8, Jordan Griffin.
So Jordan Griffin will step in for El Dorado. And he will probably go out in the... They may put him in center and move White back over to right field. Jordan Griffin out of Carson Newman University from Ellerslie, Georgia. And a throw over to first. Kinn, that throw gets past the first baseman, and that's big trouble. That'll roll all the way down to the Newton bullpen. Kinn runs second. He's on his way to third. And a throw comes in off line to home, but the third baseman, Paris, is there to get it up the line. So a 2-base error. And boy, wild pitches, pass balls. Now a errant throw over to first. Kinn didn't have much of a lead either. And the danger here at McDonald Stadium is if you overshoot the first baseman, there's not much. That ball's going to roll well away, and that one rolled all the way down to the bullpen. So now Griffin with the infield in. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Had a good pitch there. 6-6, bottom of the 6th. El Dorado trying to reclaim the lead here. And that pitch in the turf, Hodges blocks it just enough. Nice play by him. And it's a ball and a strike here to Griffin. Jordan, Atlanta Braves fan. Need to talk some Braves baseball with Jordan. 1 run in the third, 3 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth for the Broncos, and then 6 in the sixth for Newton. And the 1-1, low, 2-1. Broncos winning 6-5 last night over the Rebels. Newton lost 4-3 to Cheney on Wednesday. They lost 6-5 to Cheney on Tuesday. They lost 6-5 on Sunday to Hayesville. And they lost 10-9 to the Aviators on Saturday. They lost 5-4. I mean, that is unbelievable how many one-run losses Newton has suffered. Unbelievable. They've lost 6 games in a row, all by 1 run. Griffin able to hang in there, fouling that pitch off. That's crazy. 6 games in a row by 1 run. That's why I say they're at 3-7, but certainly not out of this race at all. 1 away for El Dorado here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jordan Griffin is first out of the 9th. 2 balls, 2 strikes from Matt Contreras. And Griffin hits us right at the second baseman, and that's Chronister. He'll go to first, and the infield in pays off nicely for Newton. No way to advance there was Kin, and now 2 away, and Tanner White steps in.
The center fielder, number 4, Tanner White.
If that ball's on either side of May of Chronister, if he has to work, maybe Kin scores, but that was hit right at him. And no trouble making the put out. So here's Tanner White. He's been on all 3 times. Reached on an air, doubled, and was hit by a pitch. And a swing and a miss. Good curveball there by Contreras, and he jumps ahead 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. Lefty on lefty here. Contreras comes set. And that one low, 1-1. I appreciate one of my first photo emails of the season from Brian Collins. The view from the outfield looks like a fun park there. Watching some AAA baseball tonight from Round Rock. Here's the 1-1. White with an excuse me swing foul, and it's 1-2. Thank you, Brian, for that photo. That's fun. In Austin, Texas. You can join Brian and send me an email, cadenbroadcasting@gmail.com. So a ball and 2 strikes here to Tanner White. Here's the 1-2. Bounces in there. Hodges getting a good workout tonight. Another nice block by him. 2-2. Six game. Go ahead run for El Dorado is 90 feet away, but they need a 2-out hit here from Tanner White. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. So El Dorado unable to get that run home from third. No runs, no hits. There was 1 error and 1 man left on. We'll head to the 7th inning. Newton 6, El Dorado 6. So the top of the 7th inning here. We're tied at 6, and Corbin Lill will lead it off for Newton. Newton losing 6 games in a row by 1 run. I know they're, on one hand, certainly happy to be tied here at 6, but I wonder if you get a little doubt creeping in. Here we are again. It was 6-0, though, in favor of El Dorado, so I would imagine they feel pretty good about where they're at right now. And a ball hit foul into the parking lot. 1-1. Lill tonight is 0 for 3, hit into had a fielder's choice RBI in the 6th inning, eventually scored, struck out, and popped out to second. Britt Brown on the hill for El Dorado. And the 1-1, a little bit high, 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike. And Lill will step out. Chance for rain in the forecast this weekend here in El Dorado. Right now, 76 degrees. Under partly cloudy skies, and a foul ball off the leg of Lill, 2-2. Some storms out in western Kansas right now, but quite a ways from El Dorado. Here's the 2-2. Outside, 3-2. Storms brewing in Garden City and Liberal and Sublette, all in western Kansas right now. But marching this way. Supposed to be here overnight. Full count here to Lill, Corbin Lill. And just missing, maybe a little bit low. A leadoff walk. So here's Drew Healy. 1 for 3 tonight is Healy. Swearing around is Healy. Pops it in the air, and Brown will make the catch for El Dorado. So trying to sacrifice and a pop out to the pitcher. So here's Price Anderson. It wasn't a bad idea. A couple reasons there, Gary, to bunt. The third baseman, Rodden, was way back. And for a team that has lost so many one-run games, they want to get that lead here. That went under the feet of Anderson and caught by Bay. Nice job there, 1-0. Anderson pinch hit in the 6th inning and had a fielder's choice RBI. Here's the 1-0, and that one's hit out into left field. That'll be a base hit. Moving on to second is Lill. So runners at first and second for Brad Chronister. Chronister tonight is 0 for 3. Ground out to third, a strikeout, and was retired 1-3. Ground out to the pitcher. And a fastball in there for strike 1 from Brown. Broncos would love to see a double play here. 6-6, top of the 7th inning. And this one's hit on to right and not able to get it is Kim. Tanner White's got it. He'll fire it home, and the play at the plate, safe. That ball hit the turf and really just kind of hopped up. Tanner White has moved over to right field, and Some aggressive base running from Newton pays off. Lil scores. And the Rebels have come all the way back to take the lead 7-6. And here's Reese Hodges, RBI single in that 6th inning. For a moment, I thought Kim was going to be able to maybe catch that one, but it was over his head. Fastball high, ball 1. Brown came in relief of Gooch, walked a man, and then retired Bonventre. But a leadoff walk has come around to score here in the 7th inning. And ball 2. A walk, a pop out, and back-to-back singles have put the Rebels into the lead here, 7-6. Two balls and no strikes to Hodges. And outside again, 3-0. Ricardo Paris waiting on deck. He's been a tough guy to get out tonight. A 3-0 pitch for Hodges. And that's outside, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk. So time is called and a mound visit for El Dorado. Newton is pushed into the lead. They have bases loaded and 1 out here in the 7th. El Dorado's bullpen is warming, but the Broncos will stay with Brown here. 2 walks and 2 singles. The only out was a sacrifice fail for Newton. So Ricardo Paris, who had the first hit of the game in the 3rd inning, a leadoff single. And then in the 6th inning, roped a double. 2 for 3 with a 1-run scored for Paris. Corners in for El Dorado. Middle infield plays at double play depth. And the first pitch to Paris is off the fists and fouled into the Newton dugout. So no balls and 1 strike. And the pitch from Brown is hit right back at Brown. He stops it. Now he won't go home. He'll go to first. They get Paris, but the run scores. So 1-3 the out. It'll be an RBI. Coming in to score was Anderson. And moving down to 3rd is Chronister. And to 2nd is Hodges. So Terrell Huggins comes in with 2 outs. Boy, nice stop by Brown. I thought maybe he had a chance to get the out at home, but he wanted to make sure he got an out, and he went to first. 8-6 Newton. One-0 pitch to Huggins is in there for strike 1. Huggins is 1 for 4. His RBI single chased Drew Gooch in the 6th inning. One ball, 1 strike to Huggins, and that pitch stays upstairs, 2-1. Boy, Gary, leadoff walks. How many times they come back to get you? And they have hurt El Dorado. There's been a lot more, obviously, when team scores 8 runs in 2 innings, but both innings have started with leadoff walks. Huggins hits this one out to shallow center. Griffin giving chase, slides, but can't come up with it. That'll score 2. Huggins on his way to 2nd, and he'll slide in safely with a double. I don't know if Griffin saw it great right off the bat. Went into a slide, feet first, but couldn't come up with it. And it's 10-6 Newton. Well, you never know, Gary. First 5 innings, no runs on 1 hit for Newton through the first 5. But now they've got 10 runs on 10 runs on 8 hits in the last 2 innings. Huggins down at second. Here's Peyton Cormain, and ball 1. One ball, no strikes. And the pitch from Brown, swing and a miss. Mighty cut there by Cormain, and it's 1-1. 11 batters batted in the 6th inning. This is the 8th batter of the 7th inning for Newton. Cormain officially tonight 0 for 1. This is 5th time at the dish. Sacrifice, a strikeout, and 2 walks. 1 run scored. And the 1-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. Things seemed pretty comfortable for El Dorado. Drew Gooch on the hill, up 6-0. Gooch couldn't get out of the 6th, and Brown having trouble getting out of the 7th there. A ball and 2 strikes to Peyton Cormain. Outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brown with the sign, the pitch, and there's a swing and a miss, strike 3. But Newton, after tying it in with 6 in the 6th inning, come back with 4 runs on 3 hits. And they left 1. Time to stretch here in El Dorado. Newton 10, El Dorado 6. So the 4th pitcher of the night coming in for Newton, it's R.J. Gaines. 6'1", 230 out of Fort Smith, Arkansas. Gaines last pitched on June 9th. Pitched an inning, didn't give up a thing against the Hayesville Aviators. First pitch to Cross Bay, in there for a strike. Matt Contreras, who pitched the 6th inning, in line for the win now. Bay late on that swing, fouls it down the first base side. So quickly 0-2 here on Cross Bay, who has walked twice and had an RBI single and scored a run. Fastball missing. A lot of life on that fastball from R.J. Gaines. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Cross Bay puts a charge into one out into left field, and that is gone. Cross Bay hit a hanging curveball out into left field for a home run. So Cross Bay had his first hit of the summer with the Broncos, now has a home run to add. And it's 10-7. And that'll bring up Brant Kim. And a fastball. Ooh, good pitcher's pitch there, 0-1. And that one's high. 1 ball, 1 strike to Brant Kim. Kim is 2 for 3. Had a big 2 RBI double in the 5th inning. Here's a high chopper in the infield. Gaines looking to field it. Bare hands, fires a strike to first. What a play by Gaines. With the bare hand, able to make that play for the first out. Boy, got off the mound in a hurry. So here's Jordan Boyer. Boyer 0 for 4 tonight. And a high fastball, 1-0. 10-7, Newton. Gaines with the pitch, and that's outside, 2-0. Boy, he really has a lot of speed on his fastball. Bay did a great job of staying back on that curveball, and he whistled it out into left field over the wall. 2-0 to Boyer. And Boyer got under this one, a high fly ball to left field as Lil is under it, and he'll make the catch for the second out. So 2 away, and that'll bring up Braden Rodden.
Number 1, Braden Rodden.
Rodden tonight, 1 for 3 with a run scored. And Gaines misses on the first offering, 1-0. 7th appearance for Gaines. Rodden called time on that pitch. Mainly, Gaines has been a 1-inning pitcher. He did pitch 3 innings back on May 29th. Only the second run given up by Gaines this season. And Rodden with a good swing, but fouled that one off. A 1.12 ERA for RJ Gaines coming into play. And inside, 3-1 to Rodden. Bottom of the 7th inning, 10-7, Newton.
I got 2 and 1.
Do you have 2 and 1? Rodden fouls this one off, so I think we're 2 and 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Braden Rodden. Curveball, Rodden hits it towards second base. Chronister circles around it, fields it, and throws out Rodden. A solo home run to lead off the inning by Cross Bay. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. We'll head to the 8th inning. Newton 10, El Dorado 7. So a new pitcher for El Dorado. Lori and Brian Collins' son, Kyle Collins, now into the game out of Cat Spring, Texas. 6 foot, 175, goes to Cisco Community College. And his job, try to keep Newton here at 10, and the Broncos have 2 more cracks to see if they can make up a 3-run deficit. Collins facing Enzo Bonventre to lead off, and a first pitch strike by Collins. An inning and a third for Britt Brown. Gave up 4 runs, 3 hits, 3 walks, had 1 strikeout. The 0-1 and a check swing. Didn't go. 1 ball and 1 strike. Collins has 1 save on the summer. 5.59 ERA in almost 10 innings of work. And 2-1 now to Bonventre. Team's hitting just .231 against Kyle Collins. 7 walks, 10 strikeouts. Giving up 7 runs, 6 of them earned. Swing and a miss, and strike 2. Enzo Bonventre, 1 for 4 with a run scored. 2-2 pitch from Collins. High, ball 3. So a full count here to Bonventre. 3, 4, and 5 for Newton, and a leadoff walk for the 3rd straight inning by Bronco pitching. So here's Corbin Lill. 2 runs scored tonight for Lill. He's 0 for 3. Has an RBI as well. And a pitch in the turf. Nice stop by Bay, coming off his 7th inning home run. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the 1-0, and that's right down the middle for strike 1. So a ball and a strike. The 1-1 in the turf, and Bay able to stop that one. So 2-1. Two balls and a strike. 10-7 Newton here in the 8th inning. And a foul ball down the right side. Giving chase is Kin. Still giving chase, and it'll fall for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2. And a swing and a miss. And Lill goes down swinging. So 1 away. And that'll bring up Drew Healy. Drew Healy tonight, 1 for 4. And Bay able to stop it. It keeps it in front of him. A throw down to second base on target and out. Bonventre is gunned down by Cross Bay, who kept it in front of him. He chased after it and threw a perfect strike down to second base. Yep. So a 2-4 put out there. That eliminates the leadoff walk. 2 away for Healy. 1 ball and no strikes. And that went in there for a strike. A 1-1. Not Healy. Garrett McLean hitting here for Healy. Thank you to Matt. And a strike three looking of McLean. A good inning for Collins. Leadoff walk didn't come back to hurt. Back-to-back strikeouts. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Newton 10, El Dorado 7. Three, 4, and 5 to lead off here for El Dorado in the 8th inning. Jamie Ritchie, first pitch swinging, fouls it down the third base side. R.J. Gaines out for a second inning of work for Newton. Ten to 7 in favor of the Rebels. And a 0-1 pitch in there for a strike. 0-2 to Ritchie. Ritchie's 2 for 4 tonight. And that one just missed. 1-2. Gaines thought he had it. So a ball and 2 strikes. Gaines waiting for Ritchie, and now the wind and the deal. Curveball, that one's in there for strike 3. So Ritchie rung up. And that'll bring up Jake Melton.
Number 12, Jake
Melton 1 for 4. And high and in on the first pitch. 5 critical outs remaining for the Broncos here. And in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mulvane beats Salina tonight, 12-2. Curveball in there for a strike, 1-2. Boy, he brings so much gas and then drops in that, I don't want to say slow curve, but boy, it sure looks a lot slower than that number 1 pitch. And back with a fastball, tap towards first, gloved over there by McLean, and he'll touch the bag for the second out.
now batting for your Dorado Broncos. The first baseman, number 28, Connor King.
So 2 away for El Dorado. And here's Connor Kinn. And a first pitch strike. R.J. Gaines is just pumping him in there right now. No balls and a strike. Kinn has been on base 3 times tonight. Here's a slow chopper in the infield. Kinn racing, and Cormain with the throw, and safe off of the glove of McLean. And looking over at Gary, that was a... What do you give it? We know Connor Kinn is on first base. And here's Jordan Griffin. Griffin didn't start tonight. Came in and batted in the 6th inning and grounded out to second base. First pitch ball from Gaines. I think you give that an air. If he catches the ball, he's going to be out, but the first baseman dropped it. Challenge fastball and a swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Griffin, and behind on that fastball, 1-2. A lot of enthusiasm on the Newton side. Why not? They have lost 6 in a row by 1 run. They were down 6-0 here. They had 1 hit in 5 innings, but they came back with 6 in the 6th and 4 in the 7th, and they lead 10-7. 1-2 pitch off the glove of Hodges. That'll give Kin an extra base on a wild pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, a base hit here could make it 10-8. Griffin fooled on the curveball, and strike 3. Gaines and Griffin chirping back and forth. The umpire gets in between to make sure nothing becomes of that. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left. We'll go to the 9th inning. 10-7, Newton. Top of the 9th inning, Kyle Collins returns to the hill for El Dorado. To face Price Anderson. And a foul ball. Is that 1-1, Gary? Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike. Anderson, Chronister, and Hodges due up for the Rebels. They lead by 3 here in the 9th. Curveball in there for a strike, 1-2. I would say the umpire's zone is stretched a little bit for both sides. One and two. And just as I say that, a close one doesn't go El Dorado's way, 2-2. Broncos home again tomorrow night against Hayesville. We'll have it for you here on YouTube and again on Sunday. 2-2. Collins thought he had it. Got a little squeeze there, and it's 3-2. Don't forget, all our games are archived. You can go back and watch any of our broadcasts here on YouTube. Tonight's game will be archived shortly after this game's over. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. And that'll bring up Chronister. Brad Chronister, 1 for 4 tonight with an RBI and a run scored. Everyone for Newton has scored except for the leadoff batter, Huggins, who's been on 3 times but has not scored, and Healy McLean's slot there, the number 5 hole. No balls and a strike. And squaring, and it looked like he attempted Eddie up, 0-2. Chronister looking to push one over towards third. Rodden's at short, Rodden's at third, Boyer at short, Kim at second, Kin at first, your Bronco infield. And high, 1-2. When El Dorado comes up in the bottom of the ninth inning, they'll have the lower third, which has done the most damage tonight. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And in there, 4 strike 3. 4 straight strikeouts by Kyle Collins. 2 swinging, 2 looking. And here's Reese Hodges. Came into the game in the third inning for an injured Jonathan Stone. And Hodges is 1 for 2 with a walk, 2 runs scored, and 1 driven in. Thought he had a night off, and he's come out and delivered for Newton. No balls and a strike. Collins now on the summer more strikeouts than walks, which is good to see. And a foul ball. Actually, it's even. He's got 11 walks. He had more. I'm sorry. I misread this. 7 walks, 10 strikeouts coming in. Now 8 walks, 14 strikeouts for Collins. No balls and 2 strikes here to Hodges. And a check swing. Yep, he did. I didn't think he went. Held up, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Collins and Bay tried to sell it. Why not? But the first base umpire said no, he did not go. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Hodges. Paris waits on deck. And high, 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes here to Reese Hodges. 10-7 in favor of Newton here in the top of the ninth inning. And just missing. 3-2. So a full count here to Reese Hodges. And a high pitch there. Ball 4. So he walked to Hodges, and that'll bring up Paris. 2 for 4 for Paris, an RBI, and a run scored. Single and a double for Ricardo. Collins has either walked or struck out, whoever he's faced. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. And a low pitch there, 1-0. Collins delivers the 1-0, and that's fouled off back into the net. Of course, everyone using the wood bats here in the Sunflower Collegiate League. Wonder how much of a change that is for the hitters, going from the aluminum bats in college to the wood bats. Personally, I like the sound off the wood bat better. 1 ball, 1 strike, and that didn't hold up that time on the check. 1-2. Broncos came into play a half-game lead in the Sunflower Collegiate League Eastern Division. Here's the 1-2, and high, 2-2. Hayesville has defeated Derby tonight 5-4. So if this score stands, Hayesville will be a half game up. And Paris ropes one into left field, and that will get past Melton into the wall around to third, and holding up there will be Hodges. A 2-out double by Ricardo Paris. He's got 2 doubles tonight. Hit that one cleanly down the left field line. So here's Terrell Huggins. Hutchinson beat Cheney tonight 12-2. So the Diamond Dogs finally lose a game. Salina won 12-2. And Hayesville a 5-4 winner over Derby. We'd be a half game behind if this score stands. Ball high to Huggins, 1-0. Hayesville now 7-4. El Dorado is 6-3 in division play, league play. One ball, no strikes. And low, 2-0. Derby with that loss, they fall to 5-5. Mulvane improves to 5-5. Newton trying to get to 4-7. And Newton is off tomorrow. 2-0 pitch. That one finds the zone. 2 balls and a strike. Runners at second and third. 2 outs here in the ninth. Collins trying to keep it a 3-run game. This one's flipped out into right field. Tanner White has a beat on it and has the catch. And that will end the inning. No runs on a hit. 2 are left on base. El Dorado needs 3 to tie, 4 to win. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Rebels 10, Broncos 7. Well, the Broncos are down 3, 10-7, and they have to take on one tough customer here, Zach Bravo, a 26th round pick of the Tampa Bay Rays. He has a .90 ERA. He last pitched on June 12th against Cheney. 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 19, 20 strikeouts. 20 strikeouts in 10 innings of work for Bravo. Tanner White up there. No balls and a strike. Bravo has 3 saves on the summer for Newton. Right-handed pitcher is Bravo. Out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. 6'3", 170. The 0-1 in there for a strike. 0-2. Eighth game of the summer for Bravo. And just missing there, 1-2. Well, Newton's right where they want. They've got the lead and they've got their star closer out on the hill. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Tanner White. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. For RJ Gaines, 2 innings of work. He gave up 1 hit. It was a home run, and he struck out 2. Matt Contreras still in line for a win here. His 1 inning of work. And this is a save situation for Bravo. Here's Cross Bay, homered his last time up. And looks at a first pitch strike. Bay is 2 for 2. Single, homer, 2 walks. Been on base all 4 times tonight. High fastball, 1-1. Bay with 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Certainly the offensive star of the night for El Dorado. Here's the 1-1. Bay pops it up on the right side, and McLean has a play on it. When will make the catch. 2 away, and Brant Kim is the last chance for El Dorado. Although it looks like Dawson Woods is going to hit. Dawson Woods.
Number 50, Dawson Woods.
So Dawson Woods out of Corsicana, Texas, 6 foot 195, will pinch hit here for Kim. Woods hitting 133 this summer, 2 for 15. First pitch strike by Bravo. The 5th pitcher used tonight for Newton. Carlin started. Zach Gillig went an inning and a third. Contreras went 1 inning. RJ Gaines 2 innings, and now Bravo. And a swing and a miss, strike 2. Newton trying to end a 6-game losing streak here, and they're a pitch away from doing so. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Ball got away from Hodges, stumbling, now fires down to first, high, and safe. So a strikeout, but reaching is Woods. So Jordan Boyer will come up, although a visit briefly with the umpire. Bravo does get credited with a strikeout and an error on the throw.
Number 52, Jordan Boyer.
4th error of the night for Newton. Throw over to first, and Woods is back. Jordan Boyer, tough night tonight, 0 for 5. Does have a stolen base. 10-7 Newton here in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs, and Boyer fouls off the first offering from Bravo. Zach Bravo. No balls and a strike. And another foul ball, and Bravo, much like Gaines, really just pumping in strikes. No balls, 2 strikes here to Jordan Boyer. Broncos need another base runner to get that tying run to the plate. The 0-2 is high, 1-2. Dawson Woods down at first base for El Dorado. 1-2 pitch here to Boyer. And the curveball drops in there for a strike for Bravo. And the Rebels able to end that losing streak. 6 games in a row, all by 1 run. In the inning for El Dorado, no runs on no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. And our final score is 10-7 in favor of Newton. Let's see. Now I'm just doing some quick math here. And almost got the numbers here for you. 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so the line score here tonight for Newton, 10 runs on 10 hits. They committed 4 errors. They left 9 men on base. For El Dorado, 7 runs on 10 hits. They committed 4 errors and also left 10 men on base. Matt Contreras is the winning pitcher. The losing pitcher tonight will be Britt Brown. And Zach Bravo gets the save. Time of tonight's game, 3 hours and 10 minutes. And the Newton Rebels win by a score of 10-7. El Dorado falls to 6-4 in league play, and that knocks them out of first place. The Hayesville Aviators are now up on El Dorado by a half game. But wouldn't you know, the Hayesville Aviators are here for the next 2 nights. So 2 very critical games coming up here in the summer schedule for the Broncos as they will take on Hayesville tomorrow night and Sunday night. We'll have the broadcast of both games for you. Tomorrow night's game, 7 o'clock. Our stream will start around 6:45. I'll post the link on the El Dorado Bronco Twitter and Facebook page. Of course, if you just subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll get alerted there as well. So 10-7 in favor of Newton. Thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate all the emails and your comments. Always welcomed here tonight. And we look forward to talking to you some more tomorrow. Until then, Kurt Caden bidding you good night from El Dorado.